The controversy over the reports of the Visitation Panel set up by President Muhammadu Buhari to unravel the cause of administrative crisis at the University of Lagos, UNILAG, has been laid to rest. The Ministry of Education, in a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Ben Gong, says there was nowhere the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundikpe, was indicted in the reports, contrary to stories in some sections of the media, but instead, it is the former chairman of UNILAG Governing Council, Olawale Babalakin, that was indicted. This confirms the position of Babajide and Adekunle Yusuf on the matter on Sunday. It was very, very hot. Let's share some moments with you.
We live in a season of sleaze, a season of fake news, and all kinds of reports are flying all over the place. I'm not aware of the visitation panel that the president set up indicting the VC. There is nowhere in the report of that visitation panel that came out in September last year indicting the VC. Nowhere. And I've read it from beginning to the end. In fact, on various issues, including over budgetary spending, including contract overpayments, the panel affirmed that there was no overpayment, that it did not detect any overpayment. It then says the area termed overpayment relates to facility maintenance, which can't be predetermined. Then it also said that section 3.7 on the issue of contract splitting by the VC, the visitation panel found that contract for maintenance and janitorial services are not composite and therefore were rightly separated. So the VC was not indicted on the issue of contract splitting. Babalakin has been harping on contract splitting, corruption. But the truth is, the report, not a piece of document not signed, that is flying all over the place.
It's a sad day for the Nigerian media. The entire Nigerian media was raped.
Misled.
That's why I used the word raped. What has never happened before. One powerful man disgraced the entire journalism in Nigeria. Because people were just insinuating. But a day or two after, he was live on TV granting interviews based on a fake report, fake news.
It was reported to Nigeria and nobody has come out to debunk it.
I am debunking it now.
Do you know? Nobody even asked from the university they are reporting.
Did it emanate from the ministry?
Nobody said.
Did anybody interview anybody in the ministry?
Nobody said the report came from the ministry. Nobody said they got the report.
It's not signed. No, it's not signed.
According to professional ethics, you will say you have a committee which you cited. Nobody did.
No signed. The visitation panel affirmed that council, the governing council of UNILAG, has limited knowledge and understanding of the law regulating the institution within which they are expected to operate and give policy directions. So is this how to indict someone? Do these words look like somebody who has been indicted?
No.
I'm repeating it on air now. There's nowhere that the visitation panel indicted the VC. I say it with my full chest. There's nowhere the visitation panel indicted the VC. In fact, it affirmed that he was not given fair hearing and that the process of removing him was wrong. People should not believe the lying propaganda spreading all over the place that the visitation panel indicted the VC. There's no line in that report as voluminous as it is where the VC was indicted. The public had been fed a diet of lies over this matter, and we are telling Nigerians now that whole thing is complete falsehood that cannot stand the test of scrutiny.
Try not to miss Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. It was red hot yesterday, and we still want to continue with that topic and Babajide, their developments. But my own question here is that I was so disappointed that as big and independent as Nigerian media seem to be, that an individual can infiltrate the media. You can see the number of newspapers, I don't want to name, that the Ministry of Education, the press release, actually quoted. You know, before you were saying that not all the media, but when you saw the number of media houses that was quoted, you say, where are the rest?
Every media gatekeeper who had a hand in the heresy that happened should be ashamed of himself. Because they put all of us to shame. They should be ashamed of themselves. Because the first, then what is the evidence of your training? What is the evidence of your training if an individual who is not a journalist, who had no journalism training, will bring a piece of trash to you and make it come across as a report, as an indictment, unsigned. And then you go ahead, senior people, not reporters, so it didn't emanate from education correspondence. Senior people, you now compel your staff. In some cases, you put people's names.
Byline.
Yes, people, they didn't write it, though. You should be ashamed of yourself. Shame is second skin to you if you do not know that this is not how to practice this profession. That's why people are abusing us. They call us heads media, all kinds of names, because we are so vulnerable. We are so wide open.
Sensitive information.
We are so wide open for people, self-serving people, to simply come and use us when it pleases them. That's why politicians push us here and there. You can't say the truth publicly. You first think of our pockets before saying the truth. It's a shame.
Manipulated.
Last night, I almost couldn't sleep. That, this profession, coming into this profession, this kind of things were not common.
When I saw some media houses backtracking this one, I had to call you.
Shameless people. The same people made it banner headlines. See the way they are reacting. See the way they are reacting.
They're all backtracking.
Now, the PAMSEC of the Ministry of Education did a press conference today. It was even threatening that those who came up with those lies, that they are already talking to lawyers about the appropriate response. So if some of those media houses, if some of the people behind this thing gets arrested, I'll be extremely happy. Let's make examples out of the black legs within our profession, who have reduced our profession to an all-commerce affair. It's a sad day that someone can sit down and then manipulate you. You will not ask questions.
Honestly,
I always talk about
due diligence.
I always talk about a philosopher who said education encourages disputation. What is the quality of the education of someone who cannot ask pertinent questions? Questions begging to be asked. You can't ask. Your confidence failed you. That means your education has yielded to your dirty mind. Because your education should elevate you to the point when you do that which really makes sense. But this is Nigeria. And frankly, when I was debunking this thing yesterday, I didn't even know that the ministry had issued a statement, because sometimes when we come into this and we are busy, we don't even know what's going on.
Breaking news. Yes. These are breaking outside.
And then today, you can see the PAMSEC saying, look, there's a white paper. That white paper dissolved the governing council. That one stands. That white paper didn't indict the VC. Now, there is the visitation panel, the general visitation panel, which came in response to ASU's demand that universities should have visitation panels. That is the one headed by General Martin Luther Agwai,
former chief of army staff.
Yes, so it is not, that was not meant for UNILAG alone. It's for all the federal universities. Now,
which is a regular thing and a normal thing should be done.
There is going to be a committee that will look at Martin Luther's report and then do along with other reports, and then do a white paper. We have not reached that point. And someone is busy deceiving gullible journalists. I mean, it's shameful.
GKB, if you know this, we said it yesterday, and I was shocked when I thought GD was going to stake his name yesterday, because I knew that this thing went on the press. It went on all newspaper review. Everywhere it was agog that, oh, perhaps the University of Lagos Vice Chancellor have been indicted. So what's the Ulabalu about? That Olawale Babalakin has even been vindicated.
Well, it's called perception control. It's not peculiar to journalism, though we are the greatest victims when it happens. It's done by politicians all the time. Basically, you call somebody a rapist, and he's indicted as a rapist. The next day, the guy will go around as a lover of children, trying to deflect the original reality that is being indicted for. It's not, I think there's a place that Jide quoted that we are not really paying attention to, that the governing board went beyond its brief. It moves from policy formulation to policy implementation. That means the governing council was interfering in the day-to-day policy implementation of the administration of University of Lagos. That shows the level of, I don't want to call it literacy, level of impotence that people who are brought on board university system basically to offer guidance in policy decided to be day-to-day runners. The man literally wanted to turn UNILAG into a fiefdom where he will become the sole administrator. And this report reflected that when it came out last year. So when they said newspapers are not carrying this, I said, this is somebody trying very hard to gaslight the journalism profession. And it's not, you cannot do it without help from inside. Nobody can stand that. Nobody can make you crazy without your
colleagues. They are culpable.
So somebody somewhere will have told him that do not worry. We know how to do
Let's
this.
reach out. Let's reach out.
And this is what we are getting. And if things are not done now, don't forget there are certain newspapers that have been here before. The management took decisions to get rid of those people because they realized that if they don't do it quickly, the reputation of the industry will come into disrepute. And if people don't move now to solve this problem, I don't think the Minister of Education will go to court. I think they will simply write to Nigeria Press Council or do something to embarrass the profession. Because the people that they will pick up are those people that their names were put in those reports, who will now be forced to voice out that they know absolutely nothing about stories that were carried.
Yeah, their bosses were the...
And then you start opening all kinds of Pandora boxes.
All kinds of worms.
By the time you start hearing from even this education correspondents, you get to hear the procedures. Now, Jide, ultimately, I don't know what these guys are trying to achieve. I thought this thing has been laid to rest.
No, it's clear what they are trying to achieve. I can't pretend not to know what they are trying. There is a white paper. There is the ominous possibility of a fresh white paper. If you get indicted back to back by two white papers, you know what that means. You know, so he's trying to make sure that that second indictment by another white paper does not happen. But the thing is, people can see through these schemes that are going on. A horde of journalists can't simply mislead a whole country.
And cannot change the truth.
You can't. You can't turn black to white or white to black. You can't. So the truth is, now the white paper, nobody can stop the white paper from happening. That's the general white paper for the federal universities. That is where the report of Lagos will be part of it, will form part of it. There is no separate white paper
for
UNILAG. That is what Nigerians don't know. People are asking me, okay, what of the other report? There is no such thing as a report. Okay. Even the date that he quoted, because he quoted the wrong date, that claiming that was when the Martin Luther Agwai submitted his report. They also said, no, you lied, sir. He did not even submit his report that month. So this is the thing. We just need to pay attention to what's going on in UNILAG, because this may not even be the last. there probably will be other schemes, and there will still be some gullible editors who allow themselves to be used.
From Ibadan.
Yes, thank you, Ayo. Good evening. I am Olushola Julius from Ibadan, Oyo State Capital.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, please.
Kolade Otitoju, congratulations on that award for TVC News.
Thank you.
We have been coming along with you people, and honestly, from a sincere and genuine heart, I rejoice with you people. Why? Because I stay glued to my TV always, especially TVC News.
Thank you.
Mr. GKB too as well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Honestly, finally, I want to say something that most of the people that we believe that they are trying to give rightful information to the members of the public, they are arbiters of false information. Yes. And I appreciate what I even heard yesterday with what I'm hearing now. It is a convincing spirit that somehow we should get ourselves connected to the truth. And that is what has been happening even on our security matters. Most of our journalists have been giving us wrong information that has made Nigerians to be having wrong perception. But there's one belief in my heart, the truth will always triumph. Good afternoon. Yes. God bless you all.
Yes.
As some people will refer to as some guys as heads media. TVC wasn't part of the people that peddled this falsehoods, and some other media houses that they have their name intact, but those ones that they were compromised, we know them, and even the press release went as ahead. I even listed
all of them. They've entered the hall of infamy.
Of shame.
Ignore me.
Hall of shame, not hall of fame. Hall of shame.
Hall of shame.
Well,
shame to those editors.
Normally, every system needs a reset at a point in time. I think this is a wake-up call for those who are true gatekeepers of this profession.
Thank God you said true gatekeepers. A gatekeeper who lends himself to being used by somebody who is not a journalist.
But the middleman will be a journalist. That's the way these things work. Ultimately, you can't come into the profession
we know
and rubbish the gatekeepers without somebody.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I know too. I know. The middleman. Okay, the middleman who lends himself. I wonder what you will say next.
Yeah.
The middleman who is a journalist who lends himself to being used by an outsider to manipulate his profession and put his profession to shame.
It's unfortunate.
Such a person should look at himself in the mirror and ask himself pertinent questions. The pertinent question that they didn't ask the purveyor of the non-existent report, they should ask themselves when looking at themselves in the mirror. The lot of people will say, so you don't need, people are watching you. God is watching you as well. That's what a lot of people will say.
Whatever that means. We'll take this break. When we come back, it's a journalist hangout. Back. It's your multi-award-winning program, Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from TVC News. I say have Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kaide Balogun in the studio with me. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has queried the ISWA head of the IGP Intelligence Response Team, IRT, Abba Kyari, DCP, Abba Kyari, over the infractions noticed in his communication with Osh Poppy, based on findings by the Special Investigation Panel, which probed his alleged indictment by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, IBI. Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, is considering the extradition requests by the FBI. Wow, did it seem that as Deputy Inspector General of Police submitted his findings to the Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Reform, we didn't get to hear much on this. But with this move now, with this query now, you will know that most likely Mr. Abba Kyari has a case to answer.
Yes. All that he has to do is show that he has no case to answer. We are not going to judge him. We are not a judging panel. The ball is firmly in his court. It's not in anyone's court. Firmly in his court. He has to show that, look, my hands are clean. whatever the Americans are saying is just empty gas. I'm as clean as a whistle. Believe me, nothing happened. Believe me, I did not compromise the ethics of my profession, this and that. What I see the police and the Police Service Commission trying to do is to squeeze as much information as possible out of the suspect in this case. You know that the IG set up his own team. He set up his own team. He set up another team. Reportedly, after receiving the first report, set up another team. Now, based on the findings by the last team that he set up, he has now issued a query. They have established that you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. You communicated in an unethical manner with an advanced free fraud suspect, since he's not convicted. Can you explain why on so day you communicated with this fellow? Can you explain this relationship with this person? You remember he even talked about introducing his tailor.
Yes, because I wanted to say Abba Kyari as much as accepted
that there was a level of communication.
But it was
about dress.
Dress.
You know? That one, whether as our super cop,
maybe
you can be permitted to have that kind of relationship with a well-known, a man notorious.
Yeah, he even pled guilty. Oshpopi pled guilty.
Yes.
Do you understand? Before
you didn't want to waste the time of the court.
So when you are saying that suspect, that he too has said, look, I'm guilty.
Okay.
So it's to a large extent, you are free. You can call him.
Okay. You are right. I just remember.
Yeah, he pled guilty.
Yes, because he knows that if he does that, then the court might be lenient with him.
Yes.
He's a smart fraudster.
He's state witness.
Yes, he's doing that. I'm sure his lawyers advise him that.
The best way out of this,
Yes.
so that you won't go.
Ibori pleaded guilty.
Yes.
Back then, just to get a more lenient sentence. So whether such communication can be tolerated,
Maybe you have not stepped out of the line.
he has to explain. Wow. So maybe when the IG now sees his explanation, then he will now communicate with the Police Service Commission and advise on what to do. Even the Police Service Commission, they too are carrying out their own. It's like maybe they don't trust the police, that the police will do
or maybe that's the way it's stipulated. Maybe
but they were both investigating concurrently. That's the point that I'm making.
Because I think Abba Kyari is a deputy commissioner of police.
Yes.
They
are the ones who can punish him.
Yes.
The IG cannot punish him.
GKB, looking at the sensitivity of the issue, you know, Jide used to say something in Nigeria, we are very quick to ethnicize, politicize, do a lot of things. Arewa lawyers from across 19 states came together, said they will offer their services and everything, which is good. Abba Kyari has not been indicted of anything. He's still innocent of to prove it guilty. Left for me is somebody I admire. It's one of our best, and it was so disappointing, and I felt very bad, very bad.
You yourself said that he's not been convicted yet. So he may still be innocent.
That's something that to just...
It goes with the territory. When we were growing up, there used to be a special force that arrests policemen. I don't know what they are called now. But
Escort.
There's a time that I have no policemen who are arrested collecting bribes or being set up by this court to arrest them. I know they are under different names now. So, but I know they do have it. And normally, I thought the police would have used this opportunity to redeem part of his image by doing this very quickly. Personally, I never knew this would drag this long. I thought because the reports brought by the FBI was open and closed. You have a relationship with this man.
No, you have to give it to the police. They have to follow the due process.
Now the due process has
exhaust all avenues. Yes.
Points. Whether we ethnicize
Don't be happy to.
Whether we ethnicize it or we romanticize it or we religionize it, whatever that means, one thing is clear: this must be treated as any other case, irrespective of who DCP Abba Kyari is in the police force. I think that's what we need to work on now. We cannot escape the fact that people on both sides of the aisle will try as much as possible to make this as an attack on us. But it's not an attack on anybody. It's basically for you to clear your name. And in fact, if you can clear his name, he has the rights to now sue FBI for millions of dollars for doing this to his reputation. In fact, I know in some other crimes, not select crimes. In some other crimes, he will have simply tendered his resignation to fight this case.
Yes.
In some other areas, that's what he will do. I'm so sure that I'm not guilty. This is my letter.
Yes.
Let me go and do it as a private citizen, so that I will not be accused of interfering in the investigation.
That you can go to the US to go and clear his name.
And the president of Kenya not do it.
Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta. He went to face the ICC now. Because the ICC issued
arrest warrant.
And he went on his own. As a president, he went there to defend himself, and he was cleared. And he came back to continue his job as president of Kenya. He didn't have to run away. You know? If you are sure that you have a good case, you are innocent, look, you can stand before any judge in the world.
So it doesn't have to do with anywhere.
And you know that climb, they won't simply, if you have a good case, they won't insist that, look, they must jail you. It's not a matter of, it's not a sentimental issue. You know?
Emeka is calling us from Enugu State.
Yes. Good evening, Ayo.
Good evening, Emeka.
Good evening. Yes. Well, I want to thank journalist Hangout to have provided solution to Nigerian problem. If those in authority can go through your programs, we have been following your program.
Thank you, Emeka.
You have not been biased. You have continued to address Nigerian issue the way it's supposed to. If those in authority, those advisors should go through your program, I think they have provided solution to our problem. On the issue of horse property, one thing our people should understand is that in pre-bargain, in U.S. system pre-bargain, before somebody elects for pre-bargain, the rule is that every information connecting that particular crime, he will reveal everything about it, so that it will qualify him for parole after the conviction.
Yes.
Let's just watch out and see. The entire process is unfolding. By the end of the day, we'll know what to do, because if our government try to do anything funny, it will also blackmail the entire country. So I appreciate journalist Hangout for what you guys have been doing for us. Thank you. And thank you for the congratulations for the award.
Thank you, Emekus.
Thank you, Emeka from Enugu. So it has nothing to do with where DCP Abba Kyari is coming from.
No. Nigerians are
should not. FBI does not recognize northern lawyers.
No.
19 states lawyers coming from the north.
No.
They don't understand.
This
just
is
like
not
somebody coming from Chicago, another person coming from California.
It's not an ethnic issue.
Let him
defend himself. Let him defend himself. We get emotional about everything. Something is wrong with us. Why should we get emotional about everything? We get emotional about VAT. Get emotional about this. Get emotional about
it's our go-to response.
About Ruga. Get emotional about cattle farmers farmers crisis. No, it shouldn't be the case. The only thing I know, the Attorney General has a big part to play. The Americans want him extradited to their country to face charges.
There are procedures to be followed.
Now, the thing this is for the lawyers. Because I'm not a lawyer, I won't pretend to be one, and I don't know it all. Since the offense, Abba Kyari did not commit the offense on American soil. You know, if he committed the offense on American soil and he fled to Nigeria, you know, it's a different thing. Won't the Nigerian government be right if he says, look, in this case, we are punishing him on our own.
Yes.
But we are not extraditing him because...
We've investigated on our own.
We are punishing
according
him
to our own laws.
There are all kinds of punishments that they
I
can
think
give him.
because most of the people that were swindled are Americans. So according to them, he's an enabler of that crime. So the crime was committed on American citizens.
Yes, but not on American soil.
But
and the issue of extradition.
Extradition is basically, like I said earlier, is to come and defend himself. Because the victims of the scams are mostly Americans. Don't forget that the Bori case, that's what also happened. The money being stolen from Nigeria was Nigeria's money, but was domiciled in the UK. So that means it's part of what they can use.
Okay, you committed the offense in the UK. It is an offense to go and launder money keep in their country. So for that reason, they put him on trial.
Okay. So Hush Puppy, the same thing.
So even the late Buruji Kashamu, by the time they wanted him, he went to court. He exercised his fundamental human right. He
was very strong. He was very strong in the Nigerian
judiciary. Throughout, they weren't able to make that order to get out Buruji Kashamu.
So Abba Kyari took the whimsical nature of our judicial process. You can have a case delay for generations. For generations. So he Buruji Kashamu exploited that.
The system.
You know? Buruji Kashamu exploited. Otherwise, he would have been extradited to face charges over there. In this case, now, the Nigerian government, just as GKB said, I don't think we should waste too much time about this matter. The longer it gets, the more the Americans and other people will think that we will just want to cover up something. But this is not good for our image. So if he's found guilty, there are punishments that they can mete out to him from our country, either by reducing his rank or outright dismissal. There are options open to the PSC, which led for me, the Attorney General may exercise his powers and discretion.
And does the President have a say in this?
Yeah, the President, the Attorney General would tell the President that this is the situation. And the President could then say, look, let us do it this way. You know, and if the President makes a suggestion that the Attorney General feels is not the best, he can say, Mr. President, why don't we adopt this course of action? So, for my own conclusion is, this thing is taking too long.
Too long.
Let us find a resolution in good time so that we can lay this matter to rest. If you want to demote him, demote him. If you want to dismiss him, dismiss him. Let us just have closure.
You know? If you want to clear him, clear him.
Yes, you want to clear him.
Yes, and you can sue. And finally, on today's program, there's a rumbling in the southeast again. On Sunday, suspected arsonists set ablaze an INEC office in Agu local government area of Enugu State. The incident brings to 3 INEC offices that have been attacked within 4 months in the region. INEC Commissioner in charge of voter education, Festus Okoye, described the attack as unfortunate. Meanwhile, gunmen killed 3 policemen and injured 2 persons while setting a police vehicle ablaze in Onitsha, Anambra State. Today, I thought peace would have been restored to the southeast, but with the feelers we're getting and everything happening, we are yet to find a lasting solution to the crisis in the southeast.
You know, I said it earlier when some people were reporting that, there is now order in the southeast after those arrests, after the bombing of ESM positions in Olu Forest and the rest of that. I said, this kind of battle is usually long. It's usually long. And the enemy is not going to sit and wait for you to come and attack. It's looking like guerrilla warfare now. A situation in which 3 persons can just get themselves armed, enter a community,
start shooting,
look at a vulnerable...
I saw one video.
Yes, you know, look at a vulnerable police station, open fire on policemen and set it ablaze. That kind of warfare, it takes some time. So to imagine that after all those arrests were made, after those attacks, that this thing will just fizzle out. It doesn't always happen like that. It's a sustained battle, and where people have made up their minds in this manner, it's just like a dogma. They are indoctrinated already, heavily indoctrinated. You can't tell them that Biafra is not it. As far as they are concerned,
it's the only way.
Biafra is the only way. It's the only way. So they are ready to die. They are ready to kill people. You know, as a police vehicle being burnt. You know, just to achieve their aim. And such people are made up. Haven't you been reading about people who beheaded their father because their father did not support the Biafra cause? So a person who can bring out his father in broad daylight and slaughter his father, won't he attack policemen? He will attack policemen. For a long time, the INEC offices were spared for some time. You know, there was a time that they were going, just targeted INEC offices in Ebonyi and other places. What our friend Okoye is saying is that this is the first attack after 4 months. That this is the first attack after 4 months. You know, so they felt that okay, respite was here. But for every attack, you set INEC back badly because all those card readers, they are very expensive.
Generators.
They are very expensive.
Logistics.
Very expensive. You destroy them. So government has to look at even the issue of don't go out on sit in your house on Monday. These guys have come out to say, look, we have suspended it. But individuals are still going around killing people for not staying put in their homes, setting ablaze schools.
Shops.
I read something that IPOB has said that it will rebuild the school that was set ablaze the other day. But how do you stop these rampaging gunmen going around from street to street attacking people, even on days that you have said people can now go to work? How do you stop that? Governors are threatening people, if you don't come to work, you are going to kill, you are going to lose your job. Nobody is listening. In Anambra, Obiano, Governor, what's his name? Obiano issued threats. Yet people stayed in their homes.
Even let people out last Monday.
People prefer to stay in their homes. Nobody wants to die.
GKB, it's looking like that's it's like a doctrine. You can, if you even arrest the leader, if you arrest some ESM members, you can't wipe away that.
Because just like what happened in the early days of Boko Haram, we keep making the same mistakes all over. Somebody keep telling us that you just cut off the head of the snake. But Yoruba proverb will tell you that even the teeth of a snake that head was cut off 20 years ago, if you step on it wrongly,
really,
you still have enough poison. Basically. And that's what they said. When you want to kill a snake, kill it totally. Don't leave room for the children to grow and harm you. I think the moment that the initial onslaught was contained, I thought the governors of the Southeast should come together and really set up a panel to find out exactly how to solve this problem. They assumed that by using force initially, the thing will go away. But this is a battle of the mind. The worst battle to fight is the person who wants to die. You cannot threaten him because he's willing to die for that cause. And that's where we are today. And it's unfortunate because I keep telling them, IPOB said stay at home. IPOB said don't stay at home. People have made up their mind in their own manner. 50% said they are obeying IPOB. 50% don't want to die. So that's a very effective weapon to gauge the mood of the people.
And fear is the key.
Fear is the key to control anybody. It shows that the political leaders in the Southeast are either not working or they made up their mind and are supporting this thing on the ground. Because there's no way to go on this long without official intervention from the political elites of the zone.
No, but those elites who have come under attack from
officially,
this
people will tell you that the federal government have branded this organization a terrorist organization.
Yes.
That it's not, it's whatever they do should not be recognized and given meaning to and everything. But some people are even saying that, oh, if IPOB They have not committed, the atrocity the bandits and Boko Haram committed have not been officially termed terrorist organization. And these are part of the injustice we're talking about.
No, it's just pure ignorance. That's not how you designate a group as a terrorist group. And it's unfortunate that I have to say this again and again. People don't understand these issues. Boko Haram is officially a terrorist group. No one can deny that. It's a terrorist group, Boko Haram. You can't call bandits terrorist group. Put a gun to my neck, I will not call them a terrorist group because it will question my own education. I've challenged people that, okay, open the dictionary. Read how the dictionary defines a bandit. Read how a dictionary defines a terrorist. It doesn't fit. Mayor was here on the upper Sunday, and the mayor said, no, you can't call them bandits. The Nigerians don't know that it is easy to look at Boko Haram as a terrorist group. They will have maybe 3 or 4 factions. Do you know how many groups those bandits have? Some of the little literature that I have read suggests to me that there are more than 50 bandit leaders. More than 50 bandit leaders.
With no central head.
No central head. That's not how you designate all the terrorist groups of this world. Let's even move outside of Nigeria. In Somalia, you know them. They are not as disparate as bandits are. Bandits are doing it simply for the money. Nigerians are looking at, somebody who can shoot down a plane. No, it is the motivation for what he's doing that determines how he's branded, not his capacity. Because somebody has RPG now, you then suddenly think it's a terrorist group. Or it's a
bringing down planes, aircraft.
No, that doesn't make him a terrorist group. They are emotional because they can't understand why the president would do that for IPOB and not do it for bandits. How many groups are there? They are just a bunch of rogues doing it for the money. So how many of them are you going to designate?
No ideology.
When you want to designate a group, a terrorist group, you put their name will be there.
Okay.
Then government will officially make them a terrorist group.
Let's take Carlos. Thank you, Carlos.
Hello.
All right, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, am I on to Journalist Hangout?
This is Journalist Hangout. You're live.
Hello.
Go ahead with your contribution, Carlos. You're live.
Okay. Good evening. Ayo, good evening, Babajide.
Good evening.
I'm one of your best fans. I love Brooke, more especially. Yeah, I love enjoying.
Keep talking. Don't listen to yourself. Just keep talking.
Congratulations to you people for doing the right thing. And I'm happy with what the last caller said, Mr. Emeka. If only those in authority into your program, I believe this country will have so much solutions coming out from your station. I appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah?
Thank you.
All right. The police command in Anambra State, they're telling us that it's only one policeman that died, not three.
But somebody died.
That somebody died.
But that's bad enough. That's bad enough.
That's bad enough.
Even one death is too much.
Telling us
it's the attacks on the police that we don't even want to see.
Yes.
You attack a police checkpoint for no reason. That's what we are after.
We can't display their bodies, but just one policeman, according to this.
We thank God that it's not more than one, but it's still bad enough.
Osiare Ganika Babalakin, thank you for your contribution today.
Always a pleasure, and congratulations on all your awards.
And Judy, congratulations
all
to
of
us. Station of the Year,
Yes.
Program, Journalist Hangout.
Program of the year. Well, the reward for
Hard work is small work.
is more work. So we have to keep working hard.
All right, and that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.